There's been so many things I talk about over the past couple of days. This has completely slipped my mind, and honestly, I haven't really spent a lot of time playing through Pokemon FireRed. It's one of the big travesties being a Pokemon fan, is that it's very, very difficult to go back and get into old generations. Like, usually because of the release schedule, but also when they do re-release an old game, there's always this feeling of just like, well, I could be playing a modern Pokemon game, or I could be doing this, I could be playing other games. Like, I love, love, love Pokemon. But at the same time, it's very easy for a brand this successful and this popular and, like, one that has newer games coming out to, like, take the time to sit and play it. I've put, like, 10 hours into Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. I'm going around, like, trying to catch every single Pokemon. I'm, like, enjoying my time with it. Like, I'm loving the game. Like, FireRed and LeafGreen is awesome, okay? And, that was kind of a given, honestly. So I didn't really make a ton of videos talking about it. Like, I didn't really talk a lot about Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen other than, like, the pricing, because I was very defensive of the pricing. I thought it was perfectly reasonable. I thought people were spurging out about it. I didn't really follow what happened after that, because, of course, like, we had the release of Pokepia, and, like, I was playing Resident Evil at the time. Like, again, there was a lot to talk about, okay? So now I've played a little bit more of FireRed, and I'm a bit more ready to talk about it. Like, we've seen what happened with this release, and it's time to talk about it. So these guys, the haters, they announced a boycott. They said the game was too overpriced, that they would not support it, that they would pirate the game and, like, ROM it, and it became a bestseller. Okay? After all that bluster, all that talk about how it was too expensive, all that nonsense, the end result is that the game, both games, FireRed and LeafGreen, have topped the eShops. They are the best-selling games on Nintendo Switch 1 this month. I believe they're still the best-selling titles. They have become very, very successful releases indeed. And this kind of goes to one of the things I've been saying a lot about these re-releases of older games, especially classic ones like this. Like, they're going to do very, very well for themselves and launch alongside other newer games. So the traditional cope that people had when it came to this games like this, like, oh yeah, this is taking resources away from modern games. Like, we got Pokepia a week after. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? This is the interesting thing about FireRed and LeafGreen, is that the narrative was that this game wasn't worth $20, that it's not that good, that it hasn't aged well, that it's not that big of a deal. And yet, somehow, I can already tell you that I'm probably going to put, like, 100 hours into this, that, like, I'm probably going to catch every single Pokemon, that I'm probably going to extensively play this with other people, that, like, this is still one of the best games on Game Boy Advance. Like, I don't know how much it sold. I believe, like, I know Ruby and Sapphire were the best-selling games on Game Boy Advance, but I'm not sure if FireRed and LeafGreen were number 2, but even if they weren't, like, they were huge successes on the console for sure. These games were huge when they came out and are still popular today. So why exactly was there such a huge conspiracy, a huge cope around the pricing and the release of this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, people were spurging out about the NSO thing. Again, re-releasing it this way allows them to introduce, like, new features and, like, new compatibility, like, making it easier to connect to other people who don't need a subscription. Like, again, this is the funny thing about this re-release, because one of the things they told us is that, like, oh yeah, we don't want to buy games, we don't want to pay for a subscription. What we want is to buy games outright. And so Nintendo released a game like this, where they just released the old game again on the eShop. And then immediately you saw these people just go like, no, not like that. I've long talked about this, how, like, people demanded these virtual console releases, but if we got them, they would just complain about the price point. Like, I remember when Earthbound, one of the most hard-to-find obscure games in the Nintendo backlog, when that got re-released for $10, and these people came out and tried to say that was overpriced. Compared to the $200 used copies you could find on eBay at the time. Like, Earthbound was a really strange instance of these people just kind of, like, exposing themselves. Like, their mindset is, if they're not getting it for free, it's not cheap enough, you know? And it's something that, like, I do think actual fans do need to push against more often. It is a complete and total joke and should be treated as a joke. This is a good example of just how desperate the gaming community is to keep the narrative regarding Nintendo products there negative. Because we couldn't celebrate Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. We couldn't celebrate the re-release of these classic games. We couldn't celebrate, like, that, the future of Pokemon, where we're clearly going to get, like, more Pokemon games re-released like this. We're clearly getting Gen 3 very soon. We're clearly setting the stage for, like, the future of Pokemon, in which games like this will remain perpetually on the eShop and available for purchase. Like, again, we can't, like, celebrate that and be happy about that and, like, just enjoy the games for what they are. Now, we have to make some fake controversy around them. Like, we have to sit there and complain about how much they cost. Because apparently all of us are unemployed. Like, all of us can't pay $20. We just don't have the money for a game like this. It's stupid, and it's something that I do think we have to rally on more, especially with the sheer amount of people like Demish and Nintendine who straight up came out and tried to endorse piracy for this. A lot of copes in regards to this release were this idea that, like, whoa, we can just pirate the game, we can emulate it, like, on our, like, Nendoroid, like, Chinese, like, knockoff product. I don't know what they're using. Like, and I'm just like, you look at that thing and it's like, how exactly is that going to be a better experience than the actual core game? Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to play this thing on anything other than a Switch. Especially when you take into consideration, like, the social aspects and how the trading feature, like, how your biggest move pool of player pool is obviously gonna be on Nintendo hardware. So even in, like, that hypothetical scenario in which you could get a game legally on, like, another piece of hardware, like, you're not gonna be able to engage with it. You're not gonna be able to trade with people. You're not gonna be able to put games into Pokemon Home, right? They've already confirmed Pokemon Home support. Pokemon Champions, I think, is coming out soon. Like, again, why would you ever play any Pokemon product on anything other than a Switch, on a Nintendo console? Like, there's no reason to ever do that. And that's something that these people are really struggling with right now, is that they can't justify the existence of their shitty ROMs and their emulators over, like, the far superior Nintendo version. Like, it is unbelievable the lengths these people will go to downplay the biggest IP in the world.